Hello, my name is Caitlin Pratt, and I'm a community mental health worker with Ohio Guidestone. Today, we're going to focus on working while supporting your students' virtual learning needs. Parents everywhere are facing a huge responsibility this year. You've been asked to guide your student through a new way of learning, in addition to working in or out of the home through a pandemic. Unfortunately, there is no easy solution, but there are some tips and tricks to help your family balance working and virtual learning. The first tip is to maintain a routine. If your school doesn't offer a structured schedule, it can be helpful to create a basic, flexible schedule that resembles a normal, traditional school day. If it's possible, plan your students' schedule around your work times. This allows you to be present for activities that require the most help and support of an adult. Be sure to schedule specific break times throughout the day for your student and your family to prevent them from feeling burnt out or exhausted. The next one is to check in frequently. If you're working outside of the home, this is helpful to make sure your student is being productive and completing schoolwork throughout the day. You might be able to use short breaks or your lunch hour to check in. If you're working from inside the home, this might be easier because you can take frequent breaks from your work area to check on your student every so often. An easy way to prioritize questions or concerns that your student might have is to create an Ask Me Later notebook. Students can write down questions or things they need help with or content that they're confused with, and then they can ask you later when you're available or after you get home from work. The third tip is to take advantage of planning tools. Virtual school programs will oftentimes come with a lesson scheduler that allows times that your students can meet with the teacher. It might also show due dates or when assignments are due or upcoming tests or projects. Use this tool along with your work schedule and integrate both calendars into one family calendar so you and your student can always be on the same page. If you're working from home, you could create a daily to-do list for yourself and your student. If you're working outside of the home, you and your student could still develop a to-do list of assignments to follow and get done before you get home from work. An extra quick tip for parents working in and outside of the home is to get a head start in the mornings. Try to get up an hour or two before everyone else and get one or two things done off of your daily to-do list that you do each day. Waking up early in the morning before everyone else does gives you the opportunity to check some of those things off and create less stress or a smaller list for you later in the day when you're managing your schedule and your virtual learner's schedule. The fourth tip is to remain flexible. The COVID-19 pandemic has interrupted work and school schedules. Create realistic expectations for your student, yourself, and your family. Be prepared to make frequent schedule changes depending on your work times, work demands, student work, and how much support your student needs from you to help manage virtual learning from home. Set aside times to work together and make adjustments to your plan as needed. And don't be afraid to change your schedule multiple times to make it work for you and your family. The final tip is to create individual workspaces for you and your virtual learner. If you're working from home, work in a different room if it's possible. If you have to share a room, you can use a visual cue to divide the space up, such as a cardboard divider, folders, or books. You can make your desks face opposite directions in the same room, or arrange the furniture in the room to create space between you and your virtual learner. If you're not working from home, a designated workspace for your student will still help them be able to stay focused and successful while you're at work. The last thing we're going to talk about is keeping communication open. Whether you're working in or outside of the home, communicate with your managers, supervisors, and coworkers. If you're working from home, talk about what times during the day you might not be available because you're supporting a virtual learner. If you work outside of the home, discuss when you might need to take a short break, a few moments, or your lunch hour to check in with your student. Communicate with your student's teachers if you notice your student needs extra help. Some schools offer discussion boards for parents or real-time classroom conversations that students and parents are welcome to join in on and ask questions. By opening a line of communication with your students' teachers and reaching out when you guys need help, you're partnering with them to support the virtual learning process. Hopefully these tips will help your family manage and even thrive while working and virtually learning. For more support regarding virtual learning, please visit the other Ohio Guidestone videos.